Hello everybody, Hamas28 here and welcome back to SkyFactory 4. So, we still have some power problems, but I kinda solved it. And the way I did so wasn't really that all interesting, but remember how I had these two gas burning generators? Well, for some reason, I guess they both wouldn't work in tandem if the energy they were producing to was full. Only one would run. So, I split them in half. This one is now fully powering the AE system, and this one is fully powering every machine in here. And now it seems to be working a lot better. And I also solved kind of the issue with our ore processing, as you can see here, by just directly putting the export bus onto the purifying factory and setting it to round robin. So now the purifying factory fills up with one of each amber and gets processing it one at a time instead of producing just a ton of a single one at a time. Now, what I did start working on between episodes was throwing in the zombie data model to collect some overworldian matter so I could turn that into prismarine shards. If you take these and combine it with some nether quartz, you get prismarine shards, and if you take these and throw it into a manufactory, which is right over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can convert these into prismarine crystals, which I'm gonna need in order to craft ourselves the growth crystal. Remember when I said I was going to be working on that? It was funny. After I finished recording last episode, I realized, wait a minute, isn't the whole reason I started Industrial 4 going was so I could craft the growth accelerators? And I completely forgot I was doing that. But there we go. Now we have a growth crystal, which is slow. Works in a 9x9 farm and checks up to 2 blocks up or down. But that's all we have to do. Now, as you can see though, to craft the next tier, which is faster growth, we'll take another 3 of them, and then for the fastest growth, we'll take 2 of those. So in total, since this one takes 2 of these, and this one takes 4, we're going to need 8 of these in order to craft a single growth crystal tier 3, along with potions of swiftness. Now, it does look like they specify which one they need. The tier 1 version takes the regular potion of swiftness, the tier 2 takes the extended potion of swiftness, and the tier 3 takes the speed 2 potion of swiftness. Now for the end crystals, I still don't have a great way to get these. I think I'm gonna have to slay some Endermen to fill up this so we can try getting pristine Enderman matter. But at least we can start working on the growth crystals right now, because they're not that difficult. Now of course the hardest part is just getting the potions of swiftness. I'm not entirely sure how I can automate the production of it via the potion brewer. I think you can, I'm just not sure how, because the way it works is, you see you have all of this. You put in, and I can actually just show you while doing it. This is how it works. So you take this slot here with the potions, and put those inside. It fills them with water, and then you put your nether warts in here, and then it's going to combine that together. As you can see, it has the arrow. And then you can add the sugar here. It's going to add the ingredient, and make swiftness potions. It's that simple. And then it keeps going down the list. As you can see here, adding ingredient, filling with water. So I'm not quite sure how I could automate that to just make a bunch of them, so I think I'll just do it manually. We are also pretty low on nether wart, so I might have to head back into the nether to get more of that, but I might do that off screen. And the whole reason I thought working on this episode was going to be useful is because if we take a look at our ingot supply, now that we've basically solved all of the basic ingots, we have to work on these ones, right? Like titanium, thorium, steel, magnesium. If we look at our essence, you could see we are collecting them very slowly. A little bit of magnesium, a little bit of steel, a little bit of graphite. But in order to actually build a fission reactor, fission reactor casing takes tough alloy and basic plating. Basic plating is pretty cheap since it's just coal and lead, but the tough alloy is ferroboron and lithium, which is steel, boron, and lithium, which is a lot more expensive, which means crafting these in any big quantity is going to take quite a while. In fact, if I take a look at this and type fission, I do have the autocrafts in here. And if you recall, the max size reactor is 24 by 24 by 24, which means the area of a cube with an edge 24 is going to take 3,456 blocks. Minus 1 for the fission reactor, and minus like 3 for the fission reactor ports. So like minus 4. So that's going to need 3,452 of these fission casings. And if we type 3,452, it looks like we're going to need 3,200 lead ingots, 855. Well, actually, we don't need the basics. Oh, that's because I didn't teach it how to make tough alloy. It just knows that it needs tough alloy. So let me add the autocraft for tough alloy in here. Okay, so I added the crafts. So if we go back to our fission casing, and I tell it to craft 3,456, 3,456, we're going to need 3,200 lead ingots, another 200 lithium, another 135 boron, and a massive amount of coal acorns and resin. That one's probably going to be the slowest. Why are we producing coal so slow? Because that one, we've been hoarding coal for quite a while, so I don't understand why it's so low. Coal sampling, coal. I don't even use a lot of coal for anything. Coal, coal, coal. Yeah, 4 and 5. Now we are on amber mulch, so I still have many upgrade tiers of mulch to make this go even faster. Mulch, we're on amber. We could go all the way up to blue mulch for the another 800% growth rate, which would help. But as you can see, it's going to take a metric ton of coal just to build a max-size fission reactor. Now I'm not sure if there's a way to get around that, like transparent fission casing, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's about the same, except it also needs a ton of glass. So there's not really a way to get around it. Now we could also start making coal, because we can make coal seeds and just make the coal directly, as you can see here. And then coal essence produces 12, so that would be faster than growing it. In fact, it might not even hurt to have both. But then I have to do an autocraft for that, and yada yada. There's a lot. Now it looks like our inventory is starting to fill up quite a bit, so I'm going to have to add some more ME storage cells. But you can see what kind of problems we're having right now, which is why we need some growth crystals under the farm. Now if you take a look, the tier 3 checks up to 10 blocks up or down, which means we can stack multiple of these. Now I'm in my creative world. This is where I take screenshots, by the way, because I wanted to test the efficiency of the growth crystals. So as you can see, we have 4 plots here, one with 0 growth accelerators, one with the max 2 basic growth accelerators, one with the max 5 tier 2, and one with the max 10 tier 3. Now these are based on the fact that this one says that it checks up or down 2 blocks, that one checks up or down 5 blocks, and this one checks up or down 10 blocks. Now I'm going to plant seeds in all of these. I'm going to run it for 5 minutes and see which one is the fastest. And let's see what happens. So now they should all harvest the entire fields at once, just like that. And now you can see clearly this one does grow so much faster than this one, and so on and so forth. But let's see how much they accrue in 5 minutes. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes, and let's take a look at the results. So, our control has yielded, how much is this? 80 wheat. The next tier up has yielded 85 wheat. Tier 2 has yielded 3 stacks plus 5, and the final tier has yielded quite a lot more. I think this one wins by quite a big margin of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacks and almost an 1/8 stack of wheat. Now I did notice, in testing and resetting, that for some reason, I think the cyclic harvesters leaves these in a state of superposition growth, because when you harvest these, okay, it doesn't seem to be doing it now, it might be related to the harvesting mode, because I noticed some of these, when I was resetting it, weren't growing at all, but when you hit it with bone meal, it gave you the items, which meant that the game server assumed it was fully grown, but the client server didn't, which probably means it was desyncing for some reason. But, as you can see, if we max out all of these harvesters, we can get the fastest amount of crops growing in seconds. So I really don't even need bigger than a 9x9 farm, we just need to max it out with a bunch of these growth accelerators. And now we're back to your regularly scheduled programming. So, now we know I should definitely max out our growth accelerators so we can start getting our essence seeds growing even faster. That's going to be a little annoying though, because as you remember, we're going to need quite a lot of potions of swiftness, nether stars, and most importantly, end crystals. Which means I'm going to have to slay some endermen to get pristine enderman matter, because that seems to be the easiest way to craft these. One, because we have to craft eyes of enders anyway, and those come from endermen, and gas tears are pretty annoying to get. Mostly because I can't figure out where to get these mob chunks from. Because you see it says, oh, you craft a zombie chunk using this. Okay, but where do I get this? It says it's from a zombie. Drop chance 30. And if I type zombie chunk 30%, zombie crop makes zombie essence. But where do I get zombie chunks from? It's a little confusing. What is this? Zombie scepter. Interesting. Lucky for us though, it should be pretty easy to get the Enderman data model done pretty fast, because we can craft this like so. Then we can also grow Enderman like so. What is that? What am I missing? A pumpkin. Can I just buy these? I cannot. Where can I get pumpkins from? Can I not buy pumpkins from the shop? Pumpkin. Huh, I guess not. No, wait. You can buy pumpkin seeds, and then we can grow pumpkins. Okay. And how much are these? These cost a single gold ingot. Gold. And grab some bone meal. That's the wrong one. Bone meal. And let's see if we can get ourselves some enderman seeds. And there we go, pumpkins. So now we can make some enderman seeds. And I guess we're all out of the other stuff. Enderman seeds. This is just to grow the stuff. See, it says drop chance 15, but I've never actually seen one of these drop. Unless I need specifically something from that mod. And am I all out of red? Yes. I should have an easier way to do this though. If I just turn off the thingamabob that stops the enderman from teleporting. So let me go ahead and do this. Grow you, put you in my offhand. And slay this guy. Only 5 to go. And there we go, we're all done. We have our basic model. So now I can grab you, take out the Enderman data model, swap you for you, and now we can start using this guy to get pristine Enderman matter and get our end crystals. And finally, I got the first 8 growth crystals. Now, these are potions of swiftness. Now I have to add in the redstone here. So now it makes potion of swiftness speed 8. And we need 2 of these, and we only need to craft 4. So I just have to do this one more time, because these 8 growth crystals will turn into 2 growth crystal tier 2s, which only takes 2 potion of swiftness. So now we grab these ones, take out the redstone, and I gotta figure out how to automate that, because this is so tedious. But now I can take these, do that, throw this in here. We can make the growth crystal tier 2. And now to make the higher one, and actually it looks like, okay, no, never mind. I don't think the crafting system can tell the difference between one at 3 minutes and one at 8 minutes, but it can tell the difference between speed 1 and 2. And then to make these, it's just the regular speed potions with glowstone dust. So now grab glowstone, craft some of this, like that, turn that into glowstone, come back over here, throw glowstone into this slot, and now it makes potion of speed 2. And we only need 2 of those. Now we just need to add our 5 thingamabobs. I forgot what they're called. Grab that, put that in here. Make end crystals. And we just need 2 more. Let's see, we are at a 11% chance, so we should get it pretty soon. Grab these. And I can also use these to respawn the Ender Dragon, I think. And it was quite annoying, but luckily it turns out I can get a large amount of netherwort by growing mushrooms in a spore recreator, and then just turning these into netherwort with hellish matter. You get 4 per. I tried growing them under the base, but it grows so slow it wasn't really worth it. So I'm using that to get around it. More of these, and let's see. So now I just need to make the regular versions, because in total we only need 10 of these. How many is this? So I'll need more of these later, but we'll get to it. And there we go, the final end crystal. Now I did slap on an export bus on top of this, set to polymer clay with a crafting card, so now whenever the simulation chamber runs low, it's gonna send a craft request to the AE network to craft some clay and then fill it in. Now I think the issue here though, is if I take a look at our clay, how much is in here? 3. Okay, maybe I'm worried for nothing. Because what it looked like... No, because there's 3 in there. Never mind. What should happen... Well, what I'm hoping is going to happen is that when it dips below 64 and it crafts it, I think it crafts 16 at a time and then exports it. So it shouldn't fill up the inventory. Not quite sure on that. But now we can use these end crystals to make our growth crystal tier 3. And start speeding up our crop growth. So let me go ahead and turn on our flight charm and put it under this guy here. It's under the water source. So let's head under the base real quick and supply this and make all of our crops grow faster. So I should just be able to just grab... I don't have a block actually. I can use this. Put this right here. And that doesn't stop the water? Okay, that's weird. But now all of our crops are going to start growing faster. And then we could just add another 9. There's my netherwort farm. Close this. And let's see. Can we tell it's growing faster just by looking at it? Can't really tell, honestly. Without adding the other 9, it still looks pretty slow, but I think it is growing faster now, which is nice. But now you know what that means. I'm gonna have to do it 9 more times. And now, after all that time, you can now watch the crops grow in real time. Phenomenal. Now all that's left to do is, if we take a look at this guy and set him to preview, we just have to fill out the rest of this with more seeds, and we're good to go. This should supply us with a pretty good amount of essence seeds for pretty much anything we need. Which means at this point, if we go ahead and take a look at our fission reactor requirements, we're probably just going to need a bunch more coal, as always, because what was the number I calculated? It was like 60 fission. This guy, it was like 5,000 or something. 5,000. So we're going to need another 4,500 lead, 3,800 lithium, 166 boron, and mostly coal. So coal is going to be the big decider here, which is holding us back by quite a lot. Lead, we just have to keep processing it at this point. But boron and lithium, I actually think we can craft most of this. I just didn't teach it how to craft them. So if we do lithium into lithium ingot, like so, and boron ingot, like so, 3 and 3, throw you into one of these guys, and then try to do it again. Fission. and make 5,000. Yep, we have enough lithium, we have enough boron. Oh no, we don't. It's saying we need 4 more boron essence to craft the boron. We need another 439 lithium essence to make the lithium. We need more lead and more coal. And there's really not much getting around that. Man, why is coal so expensive for this? I might have to set up some more hopper bonsai pots for the coal. Or actually, what I can do is upgrade our mulch, because that's going to increase the amount of drops we get, which will directly impact our production. So let me grab our fertilizer. Throw that in there. And let me take a look. So, how many bonsai pots do we currently have? We currently have 27 bonsai pots that are all using mulch. So, I need to upgrade this to the final tier. So, if we take a look at brown mulch. Actually, where's our mulch in here? Because we should be able to multiply it. We need 27. Yeah, we have 19 brown mulch, which we can then upgrade all the way to yellow. Take the yellow. Upgrade this all to amber. Take the amber. Upgrade that to ruby. And we're short just a little bit. We just need a little bit more fertilizer. Now we can take this, and we need to make HDP pellets, which will take a pressurized reaction chamber with liquid ethylene, oxygen, and substrate. So I'll need a second one of these. And there we go, another pressurized reaction chamber. Now we just have to hook this up to our current ethylene production, which is right here. So there's our substrate and ethylene. We'll put this guy... What's a good spot for this? Okay, I think I have everything I need. So the pressurized reaction chamber is going to go right here under the oxygen line, because it needs oxygen and it needs substrate. So we're going to put him right here, floating in the sky. And from the top, which is the red one, we go to gas, input red. So now we have the oxygen. Then we need this rotary condensator to be right next to it. So I can actually take this elite pressurized tube, like so. Put you right here. And can I output? No, that's not going to work. So I need to move this right here. So now he's filling with ethylene. We need to convert this into liquid ethylene, which is condensation. So this will need power. But then I need these item ducts to pull from this bin into this guy without blocking this. So let me move around here. Like so. Throw on our servo. So now this guy's going to fill with our substrate. At least he should. Items. Input on the right. So now it should pull the substrate out of the bin into here. Let me grab our power cables. And grab some flux ducts. So now he's full of substrate. We need to connect these both to power. And all the power is kind of on this side, so we'll run it over here. And hook them both up, like so. So now they have power. Now he's converting ethylene to liquid ethylene. We need to connect this with a pipe. Like so. You, why don't you connect? Oh, because this is for gases and this is a liquid. So let me break this. We're going to need a fluid duct. Grab our fluid ducts, and we're going to need another servo. At least I think we need another servo. I'm not sure if this machine auto outputs. Take your fluid duct. And I don't want it feeding back into itself. But it doesn't look like... Actually, it shouldn't be able to, right? But I need this guy. Side config, fluid, left side fluid. There we go. Now we take our crescent hammer and remove that because I don't like looking at it. Set this to output. And now he's filling with liquid ethylene. It's mixing with oxygen and substrate to make our HDPE pellets. Now this is quite energy intensive, and this guy has a lot of ethylene, but it should not bother our gas burning generators, because I think we produce enough ethylene for both by the looks of it. At least for now. And this guy will fill up. So, now that we have access to HDPE pellets, we can make this into our red mulch. And to make the amount we need, let's see, because this is going to double again. And we only need like 30, so I only need to do this 15 times, so we need 30 pellets. So now we grab 30 of these HDPE pellets, and we mix it with our mulch. And I think we need more substrate for that, right? So Ruby mulch with this to make 30. Oh, need to put that in there. To make 30 of these. The hot stuff. So now we're at 333%, 240% drop rate. Then to take it to black mulch, we're going to need more HDP pellets. Because we're going to need another 15, so 30 rods and 30 sheets. And to make 30 of each, to make a single rod, we need 4. So to make 30 rods, we need 120 pellets. And then to make 30 HDPE sheets, we're going to need 90 HDPE pellets. So in total, we're going to need like another 200. But then that'll let us get up to the black mulch, and then to the blue mulch. So we're almost there. And then the blue mulch should be the easiest, as blue slime crystals is just blue slimy mud, which we can craft pretty easily with our sand and dirt, which we should have a lot of. Let me go ahead and make let me make 100 sand. Because we're going to need, let's see, 30 of that. We need 30 of these, which will take 30 blue slime crystals. So we just need 30 of this. And there should be enough dirt in there to make 30. So there's 30 blue slime crystals. But then wither dust drops from stuff, but we can actually just craft it directly from wither skeleton skulls. And wither skeleton skulls are pretty easy to get because we can make them from a pristine wither skeleton matter, which I think we have some more of. Pristine, we don't, but we have the wither skeleton, so I could always make more. So I don't know about you, but while I'm waiting for these pellets to be produced, I was finishing my lunch. It was a, well, not delicious. Well, it wasn't as good as when I freshly made it. It was beef stew that I made the other day. It's about 3 days old, but I find that when you let the beef stew sit in the fridge, it tastes better because the potatoes and the carrots really absorb that stew, and it just gets much more flavorful. Now, to finish off the pellets here, I just need another 90 of these to make the sheets, and then we can upgrade our mulch to the next tier. And while I was doing that, I also threw in our wither skeleton data model, so I could get the pristine thingamabob, so we can make some more of these skulls, because I need these in order to turn them into the, whatchamacallit, this stuff, wither dust. And with that, I think we're done on the wither dust there. So now we're really just waiting on the pellets, and then we'll be finished with the Age of Farming mulches. And with the blue mulch, we'll have maxed out all of our botany pots, and we should be able to get up to the 20,000 coal needed much faster. It's just a shame this is really slow. I could make it go faster, but it does take quite a lot of RF per tick, so if I make it go faster, I think that might just kill like our entire battery setup here. And now we start converting all the pellets into sheets. And I realized I never upgraded this machine, so I had to slap in a bunch of upgrades, but now it's going around quite handily. So now if we go back into the main area, and actually I wonder if that'll work, because it takes 3 to craft 1, but since it's spread out, yeah, that's what I thought. I knew it was going to break like that. See, so I gotta tell this not to auto sort, and then throw that back in. There we go. So now we take these, throw you in there, take our red mulch, upgrade that to black mulch. I'm off by 1. That doesn't make sense. I crafted 90 of these. There we go. To get 30 black mulch, now we take the 30 black mulch, and we mix it to get 30 blue mulch. I'm blue dabu-dee-dabu-die. And that's it. We finally got the final mulch. And with that, we can now grow crops at 1000% with 350% drop chance. What was that? But now I can come out to our coal tree right here and swap you out. I wish there was an easier way to swap it. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Let me... Oh, I just placed it on top. Okay, silly me. I was like, huh, that's weird. Now we can change out the coal, bonsai pot, blue mulch, coal sapling, and look at that. It grows in seconds. That's hilarious. Now if we take a look here, and we're already in the thousands, so it's kind of going to be hard to tell, but if we take a look at the coal sampling, this one, go to this, and take a look. We're only collecting the resin and the acorn. Now the acorns are 50% and the resin is 35. But now we have a plus 350% modifier, which means every single time this grows, we should be getting coal and acorns, which means it's still going to take quite a long time. Now I could make more filing cabinets, or I could make the coal seeds so we can grow them here. Both would work. Just hard to say. So I think I'm just going to have to let this AFK so we can gather up the resources needed. It's going to take quite a lot to actually build the max one. And you see, this is kind of why I get bored, because there's not really much fun in just making something max size, you know? Because it's just, okay, how much patience do you have to collect all the resources? Because it's not like you can make it go that much faster because the scaling is quite linear. So now if we come in here and we tell it to make 4,000, we still need 3,300 lead, and 12,000 coal resin, and 3,100 coal acorns. This number dropped dramatically though, I realize. So it should go pretty fast, but it's still, relatively speaking, pretty fast. It's still going to be extremely slow, which is going to take quite a long time. It also takes 83,000 bytes, which I don't think... Yeah, I can even support that. So I'm going to have to add in something with a lot more crafting storage, which shouldn't be that difficult, because actually, if I type in crafting storage, the max is 64. Okay, I can craft these. So we craft, if I type crafting storage in here, crafting, and make 2 of these, and then I type components, we need 64, 2 of these. And as you can see, we can actually go all the way up to 16,384K through extra cells, which is part of the advancements. But to craft it, we'll need 180,000 bytes, which we don't quite have yet. It'll also take more sand than we have, more gold than we have, more mineral than we have, and more redstone than we have. So it would be quite expensive. And you can see what I mean, like, there's no challenge to doing this. It's just, okay, keep adding stuff to generate more resources until you get it, which isn't really that fun to me. You know what I mean? Because it's not, there's no exponential growth and there's no, like, more efficient way to do it. Like, I compare it a lot to playing Factorio, because in Factorio, you start off with coal, stone, copper, iron, and then you grow stuff, and then you process it. But then as you unlock more and more tech, you can get much more efficient. You don't have to burn coal in a furnace, use electricity, you add productivity modules, you make stuff go faster, you expand the factory even more, and it grows exponentially. So when you need thousands and thousands of resources, it's really not a problem. Whereas here, we're kind of just gated by, okay, well, how tedious do you want to be? You can add more saplings, but even with the blue mulch, it only grows so fast, you know what I mean? And I can add more crops to our farm, but making it from essence is still pretty slow because we're gated by our total farmland as well. And it looks like I was absolutely right. I'm gonna have to be checking these every like hour or so, because they will eventually fill up with acorns, and I'm not sure how I can fix that so it doesn't do it, which is really annoying. But now I can just refill that back up, and that should fix it for at least a while. I'm not sure how I can get around that, because I need to export 2 items, and I can't make these. What are they called? These aren't smart. So I can't tell it to only ever like keep a slot filled with something and not overflow it. If I could, these would be a lot better, but I can't do that, which is a little annoying. But looking at the rest of our advancements here, we have yet to do anything in the age of all the things OMG LOL. And that's what's kind of sad, because I don't feel... What is it? I don't feel motivated to do this, you know what I mean? Because it's all just generate a bunch of stuff. But to what end? Like, I could make the max-size nuclear craft reactor, but then what do I need all that power for? I can't use that power for anything. And then technically, well, you could use all that power to run the fusion reactor. But then, what am I using the power from the fusion reactor for? You know, there's no simple energy dump that makes it worthwhile. Everything is running pretty smoothly at this point. We're generating tons of resources. The factory can pretty much run autonomously at this point. And I'm not sure what is left for me to do. You know what I mean? Without a discrete concrete goal, I lose sight of what it's all for, which is why I like when packs give me a definitive start and end. It gives me something to look for, something to do. And SkyFactory 4, while I think it's a very curated and well done mod pack, doesn't have an end goal. It's just sandbox, which isn't bad. I enjoy sandboxes from time to time, which is why I enjoyed my time playing SkyFactory 4. It's just now that I've been playing it for a couple weeks now, I've lost interest, especially when I keep seeing new packs to play. But I think this episode has gone on quite long enough. I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.